The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. I would rather be partly great than entirely useless. We are all failures, at least the best of us are. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Pain is temporary, quitting lasts forever. Failure after long perseverance is much grander than never to have a striving good enough to be called a failure. Failure is giving up and not trying further. Keep on trying to reach your goal is part of success. Failures are foundation stones of the success forts. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Failing to attempt is biggest failure of life. Failing to fail will never give you the real joy and happiness of success. Failure is success in progress. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Try to understand paradoxical unity or duality of life. There is no meaning of success if failure does not exist. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. I don't let failure defeat me, instead I rise above it to make me stronger. If you learn from defeat, you haven't really lost. Giving up is the only sure way to fail. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Your attitude towards failure determines your altitude after failure. Most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. It's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Failures are finger posts on the road to achievement. A minute's success pays the failure of years. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. It's not how far you fall, but how high you bounce that counts. Success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. If you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. The difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. Failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. There is no failure except in no longer trying. If you don't try at anything, you can't fail. It takes backbone to lead the life you want. When you take risks, you learn that there will be times when you succeed and there will be times when you fail, and both are equally important. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. When we give ourselves permission to fail, we, at the same time, give ourselves permission to excel. Winners are not afraid of losing. But losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. I never lose, I either win or learn. Failure is so important. We speak about success all the time. It is the ability to resist failure or use failure that often leads to greater success. I have met people who don't want to try for fear of failing. Success is the result of perfection, hard work, learning from failure, loyalty, and persistence. What matters is this: being fearless of failure arms you to break the rules. In doing so, you may change the culture and just possibly, for a moment, change life itself. I don't believe in failure. It is not failure if you enjoyed the process. We are born with success. It is only others who point out our failures, and what they attribute to us as failure. I have probably earned the right to screw up a few times. I don't want the fear of failure to stop me from doing what I really care about. Never let success get to your head. Never let failure get to your heart. It's only when you risk failure that you discover things. When you play it safe, You're not expressing the utmost of your human experience. Failure expands your learning curve required for success. Failure doesn't kill you, it increases your desire to make something happen. Don't think of it as failure. Think of it as time-released success. Failure is not falling down but refusing to get up. Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. Anyone who attempts is not a failure. If you're not failing every now and again, it's a sign you're not doing anything very innovative. You make mistakes. Mistakes don't make you. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. No man is defeated without until he has first been defeated within. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Don't worry about failures, worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. You always pass failure on your way to success. If you fail, never give up because fail means first attempt in learning. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. My past is everything I failed to be. Many people dream of success. To me, success can only be achieved through repeated failure and introspection. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. Try again. Fail again. Fail better. All my successes have been built on my failures. Keep your head up in failure, and your head down in success. Failures are amplified by denying that they are failures. Failure is nothing more than learning how to win. Always remember that failure is an event, not a person. I can accept failure, everyone fails at something. But I can't accept not trying. If you aren't experiencing failure, it means you are failing. Failure changes for the better, success for the worse. No matter what one does, regardless of failure or success, the experience is a form of success in itself. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. Failure is a detour, not a dead-end street. If you aren't making mistakes, you aren't taking enough risks. A failure doesn't mean you are unworthy, nor does it preclude success on the next try. The best way out is always through. Victory has 100 fathers, but failure is an orphan. When you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Failure is an important part of your growth. Don't be afraid to fail. Life is to be lived, not controlled, and humanity is won by continuing to play in face of certain defeat. In any case, you must not confuse a single failure with a final defeat. Losers quit when they fail. Winners fail until they succeed. You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing, and by falling over. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. A man of genius makes no mistakes. His errors are volitional and are the portals of discovery. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Failure happens all the time. It happens every day in practice. What makes you better is how you react to it. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. The secret of life is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. Success or failure is caused more by mental attitude than by mental capacity. Failure is good as long as it doesn't become a habit.